All right, everybody. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Today, we're going to talk about how to generate quick cash with no leads, no listings, no budget. So thanks for being here. I, as always, forgot it's a holiday because I don't pay attention to things like that. And yeah, so thank you guys for being here, especially those of you that are enjoying a day off or with your kids or could be doing so many other things besides hanging out with me. So thanks. Most of you guys I know, so I'm not going to do much of a long intro here, but today we're going to talk about why, how, give you a little step-by-step, some key things you need to know, some tips, and then a summary. So we'll dive into that at the end. Like I said, most of you guys I know, so I'm going to skip it. Those of you that I don't, I've been a single agent, ran a huge team, 400 plus deals in a year team. Ran 2 really big offices. And other than that, now all I do is help our title clients build and grow their business and create a win-win for that. So it's hard to think about this now, but just about a year ago, coming up on a year, we started this training branch of all of our title divisions. So if you've worked with us at Synergy, Trident, or Performance, we appreciate it. Thank you guys. We're going to keep this going as long as we don't have the ability to do in-person events. So as of right now, we have every Monday booked out through the end of February and every Thursday for our Better Call Paul sessions booked out through the end of February as well. And then we'll see where the world takes us. And in March, we will either go back to in-person events or maybe we'll keep doing some Zoom. So we shall see what happens. I wanted to do this class today. It's a little different than what we usually do, but I wanted to do this class today because I hear a lot of people over the last year, it seems like realtors' businesses went one way or the other when COVID hit. They got really, really busy, and for some, the busiest that they've ever been, or their business just like fell off the planet and they have no business at all. And they have no leads and no listings and no budget. And also there's a lot of new agents that have been joining us. A lot of people have been getting into the business because in the last year or so, if they were laid off or couldn't work or didn't have the ability to earn the same amount, they thought now was the perfect time to get their real estate license. And most people that get into the game just don't have a big budget. And obviously, if you start, you don't have any leads or any listings. So wanted to teach this class and show you guys a strategy. As a test for this class, I've had 3 people running this over the last 2 weeks. And 2 of them actually have rental closings out of this already this week. So within 2 weeks, already earning some money. So hopefully this will help you out a little bit. So if you could use some quick cash, say yes or raise your hand or put yes in the chat. Anybody could use some more cash. Me too, by the way. So I understand. If you said no, this is probably not the right spot for you. However, if you said yes, get ready. If you have no budget, no listings, no database, no leads, no referrals, no money, no pipeline, who is that? Type in the chat which one is most relevant to you. Is it no listings? Is it no budget? Is it no database, no leads? You don't have any referrals. You don't have any money. You don't have a pipeline of leads. Let me know what we got. What do we have that's bugging people the most? Let's see. All of the above. No pipeline, money, pipeline. Some of the above, no leads, no leads, no leads, no listings, have it all but need more. Cool. All right. So let's dive in. So if you are going to do this and you really want to play along today, then it's time to engage in Craigslist. Those of you that are newer in the business might think, why the heck would I use Craigslist? Those of you that have been around the business for a while, you might have been around when the Craigslist heyday was really crazy and everybody used to create systems and build all this stuff to work on Craigslist. A couple of years back, 2013, 14, 15, I forget exactly what year. I think it was 14. Craigslist made this huge format change where they got rid of HTML. They didn't allow people to use HTML. And then all the tech people that were generating leads through Craigslist and using that space exclusively to generate business got out of Craigslist. And it pretty much died for real estate. And within the last 2 years or so, they've made a lot of changes that have allowed it to kind of have a resurgence, but most people never went back. A lot of the top agents that were using this at a really high level just never went back at all. And a lot of people now are just skipping over it because they don't like it or whatever. But the truth is right now, if you want to generate free leads and you have no budget and you want to generate some stuff quickly, Craigslist really is probably the best option. Outside of calling FSBOs and expireds, which are now business, right? They've raised their hand, said they want to sell. But the fact is, we know most people don't like those. They don't want to make calls, or they just are real with themselves and they just know they're not going to do it. Craigslist is something that you can be anti-social and anti-calls and generate leads. Now, as we dive into this, I'm going to give you a step-by-step, show you some examples, walk you through everything, give you a bunch of tips. But as we dive into this, I want you to keep in mind, at the end of the day, Craigslist is an internet lead. And if you've been around any of my classes or any of my teams or my offices, you know that the big thing I push with internet leads is that the quality is in the quantity, meaning you need to get a lot to find the good ones. And the people that do this consistently and do it a lot are really the people that make money in this space. And the people that do it once or for one day or 1 week and then give up and they say, oh, it doesn't work. You're right. It's not going to work. The conversion rate for any internet leads, if you're an average agent, if you're average, so you're willing to pick up the phone, you'll email some people, you'll respond in somewhat of a timely manner. The average conversion is 1%, which means for you to get a deal, you need to generate 100 leads. Now, of course, you could generate 1 lead and it could turn out, to be a deal, or you could generate 200 and you might miss, right? Because a small sample size. But in general, 1% is the average for conversion. If you're doing really good, if you're really on it, you answer your phone right away, you have a follow-up system, you use technology, you're working, 5-6 days a week, a couple hours a day, that conversion rate for the best people in the industry only increases to about 2.5–3%. So when we dive into this, I want you to keep that in mind, that if you are looking to generate business, we proved this week, or over the last 2 weeks rather, that it takes a little over 100 leads to be able to get one that turns into a deal. But when it does, they're usually quick deals, because the people that are looking on here, they're not the long-term searchers. Those are on Zillow and Facebook and all those things. The people that need to move now, your opportunities are in Craigslist. So let's dive in a little more. So why Craigslist? It's number one, or first, it's the top 20 for web traffic in the United States since 2000, and it has not fallen out of that since 2000, which is nuts. It's free, which is great. There are some paid options and you can do more with pay, but you can generate leads 100% for free. It gets more traffic every day than Netflix and Zillow, which is insane, because those are, when we think web traffic, that's what we think. 60 million users are on Craigslist, with over 50 billion with a B views per month. It now supports 13 different languages. So even if you type your post in English, someone can go on there in Spanish, in Mandarin, in all these other languages that I don't even know what they are, and be able to use it. There's 80 million ads a month, and there's 700 different localities across 70 countries. So it's pretty much everywhere, which is amazing, and it's free, which is probably the best part. So how? This is a list. If you want to take a picture or whatever, this is just kind of like this, the order of how you have to do things. I'm going to go step by step through it in a minute, but the how behind this is you need to create an account. You can't do it without an account. You need to be able to create a post, which when you get good at it, the one I did testing for the class took me about 3 minutes, and I haven't done a lot of Craigslist recently, but it really doesn't take long to do at all. You have to use the housing offered section. You have to be able to choose a category, which I'll show you. You have to read and understand the guidelines. So they're very strict with fair housing. They're very strict with if something is not active, like a bait and switch kind of situation. You have to post listings if you have them, or other people's listings. If you don't, and you don't know about the any broker advertise thing, we can talk off air. And you can do rentals or sales on here. I will tell you, rentals is the quickest way to generate really quick cash. Like if you want to do a rental deal in the next week, you could throw it on Craigslist and get a rental deal. Sales do work, usually in the lower price points. Like under the average, and wherever you work, sales will work. But when we start getting into a higher price point, it doesn't usually do that well on Craigslist. So let's talk about a little step by step. I'm going to dive into this and show you each step of the way how you actually do this. And then if you contact us after, if you want the recording, or if we're working together already, doing deals with Trident or Performance or Synergy, I will get the recording out to you. So let's start. So we're going to just do Craigslist.org. When you actually go on to Craigslist, one of the first things that happens is it pings you and tries to figure out where you are. So if you have location services on or anything like that, it's going to try to find the closest locality or nearby Craigslist to you. So ours down in Palm Beach comes up as Miami. So it'll be miami.craigslist.org. And on the top, you'll see South Florida. So you'll have Miami-Dade County, Broward County, and Palm Beach County. What's cool about our area is you can actually post across all three if you want, or if you just want to narrow it down, you can kind of tighten it up. But the one you pick is going to be miami.craigslist.org. So that's step number one. Step number two, we're going to click on create an account or my account. And when we do that, you're going to get two options. If you have an account already, you just log in. If you don't have an account, start with your email. It's very simple. It just wants to make sure you're like a real person, not a robot. So it takes 2 seconds to do. Once you do that, on the top left, you're going to hit the button that says create a posting, and then it's going to pop you into this screen. And you get to choose the location that's the best fit. So ideally, you want to choose not necessarily where you want leads, but you want to choose the address of the property that you're working with. So if you have a listing, great. If you don't have a listing and you're using Any Broker Advertise, and you take someone from the office and they're 123 Main Street in Boynton Beach, then we're going to put it in the correct spot that it's in. So Palm Beach County. Then we get a lot of options here. What type of posting is this? Job offered, gig offered, resume, housing offered, housing wanted. We're going to do housing offered, not for sale by owner or dealer or any of that stuff. We're going to pick housing offered. And when we do that, it takes us into the screen where we have to choose a category. So really, we have two options for what we're doing here. We're either going to do apartments / housing for rent. As you can see, no shares, roommates, or sublets. This is an entire property that is, by itself, ready to be occupied. Or we're going to do real estate by broker. So if it's for sale, we're going to do real estate by broker. If it is for rent, we're going to do apartments and housing for rent. You'll see on here, the only thing that's charged, this is a common misconception with Craigslist now, that they charge you. And there are certain posts that they charge you for, but those are only for office and commercial space, and it's $5. Everything else in here is free. So I hear people saying all the time, I don't want to pay, and you don't need to. So. And then it opens up this screen where we just have to fill in the blank. I mean, this really is very, very simple. This is really very simple. At the top of every page, you'll notice it has all the fair housing stuff. And I will tell you, this is about the only thing that they actually police on Craigslist. If you say anything or do anything that goes against fair housing, you'll be down in a second and your account will be banned in like 2 seconds. But everything else, you can pretty much do whatever you want. So discrimination by race or origin, age, family status. Can't do, no kids, ideal for one, empty nesters. You can't do any of those things. Can't say anything about disability, creed, sexual orientation, income source, anything about money. You can't say. You now can't use the words you or your in some of these posts. They get flagged. It's the same with Facebook ads now, by the way. The world's getting crazy. We need to describe the premise, meaning the actual property, not the people, not who it's a good fit for. We're just talking about the property. If you do anything but that, it's coming down, and it's coming down very quick. So I'm going to give you some tips at the end on some verbiage and some stuff to put in here. But posting title is going to be what people see. So I'm going to show you the 3 ways people can search on Craigslist. One is in a list format where all they see is words, and the only thing they'll see is posting title. Then there's one that there's an image search or a tile search, and then there's one that's a map search. So your posting title is probably the most important thing in here. The only tip I'm going to give you right now is do not post the address. If you post the address, they no longer need you. So do not post the address, and we'll talk about more tips later. City or neighborhood, so Jupiter, Florida, or downtown West Palm Beach, something like that. Whatever the zip code is, this has to be accurate because later it's going to ask you to identify where the property is on the map. It uses that zip code and it puts up a little circle. And if you're outside of the circle that it thinks, it just right away flags and voids the post and doesn't let you do it because it thinks you're trying to scam something. Description. You can put as much or as little as you want in here. Some things you cannot do. You cannot put a link to another website. So you can't create a landing page in here and put a link in there. Anything that's HTML like that, you cannot do. Craigslist changed that a while back. And if you do it, it will most likely let you through, but your post will get ghosted or flagged, they called it, and it will get canceled and taken down and your account will get shut off. So you cannot say, hey, for a list of the top 10 best rental properties in Boynton Beach, click my link, and then it takes to your website. I know in our head, that's those of us that are decent at internet lead generation, that's what we always think to do. As soon as you do that, account's coming down. Each post has to be about one property specifically. So if we're doing 123 Main Street, it can't be, oh, also 234 Main Street is available. It is specifically about whatever property that we are picking. Then we're going to go to post details on the bottom. Put in whatever the rent amount is, or if it's a purchase, you'll put the sales price, and then whatever the square footage is. Basically, the things that you see in green are the things that are mandatory. The things that are just in black are not. So you can add those if you want or you don't. So there's 2 different strategies with these. The less is more strategy is kind of how I always like to do internet lead gen. You want something that's going to make people click and go to it and look at it. So the least information amount you give, the best. Housing type is it an apartment, a duplex, a single family home, a condo, a townhouse? Laundry is just a pop-up that says, does the unit have laundry? Yes or no. Is it in the unit? Is it in the complex? How do you do it? Parking, is there a covered parking spot? Is it an assigned parking spot? Is it a garage? Is it a parking garage? Bedrooms and bathrooms, you'll see on the next screen, are pretty obvious. Cats or dogs, is it allowed? Is it furnished? No smoking? Is it wheelchair accessible? And is there Tesla charging? Or electric vehicle is what EV stands for. Available on date. So what date are you doing it? And are there any open houses? So this is the first page. Really simple here, just fill in the blank kind of stuff. This is like the kind of the next page. It's if you scrolled further down, you finish the bedrooms and bathrooms, some flooring options, and rent period. Is it month to month? Is it a seasonal? Is it an annual? What is it? Fees and licensure. So you have to put these things in. If you are a licensed realtor, you always have to disclose that. So you have to put that in there. And is there a fee? Meaning, are they paying anything for working with you? Usually it's no, but some realtors do, charge a fee for credit check or wanting to work with tenants. So if you do that, you have to put that in there. And if there is an application fee for the property, you have to disclose that. If not, you get taken out for this right away. So if you put a rental up and it's $150 application fee for the condo association, and someone reports you for saying, oh, it's going to be $150, you're out right away. So don't try to dodge that. Figure out if there's an application fee or not. If you're taking something off the MLS, it usually will say application fee. So it's not that difficult. If it's a complex or a private rental, make a phone call and find out before you put it in here. And you always have to have your brokerage. This is with any kind of marketing. It has to have your brokerage on it. You are a salesperson working under a broker's license. So you have to have that brokerage on there. And if your brokerage has anything that they make you do, that has to be in there. So a very popular one is each office independently owned and operated. I used to run some big franchises, and all the different franchises have that. Doesn't matter if you're Keller Williams, Remax, EXP, Century 21, whatever the heck you are. Everybody, you have to put that. So if you have any language that your broker requires or your company requires, make sure you do that. On the bottom, your contact information. So this is how they're going to get back to you. You always want to do this, right? You always want as much information in here as you can. You can put this in the ad space as well, but sometimes that gets taken down. But how Craigslist wants people to respond is through their mail relay. So it's a capture for them as well. But you put your email address, and then if you've ever used Craigslist before, it kind of codes it, and you just get at Craigslist and a bunch of letters and a bunch of numbers that are all kind of tied to it all at one time. So you want to put that in there. If you want to show your phone number or not, it's totally up to you. You choose if you want a phone number on there or not. I would suggest doing it because you want to give people the most amount of opportunities to contact you. However, you, of course, open yourself up to spam or junk calls or anything like that. So totally up to you. I personally have always had a second phone number. I use Google Voice, and I'm going to talk about 2 emails later, but same thing. I've always had like a lead email and a lead phone number because I like having my own phone number separate. So if I want to be on vacation or go away or not talk to people, I can do that. Totally up to you how you choose to do that. But I would definitely put some kind of a phone number, even if it's, a Google Voice or a forwarding number or something like that. But make sure you get something in there. Then at the bottom, a couple things. Location info is, do you want to show the address? My advice on this is never show the address. It's totally up to you, obviously, if you want to do this. But if you do show the address, just keep in mind, if they open up another window and go to Zillow and type it in, you're cut out, right? You're out of the picture. So I do not like to show the address. You're going to see in the next couple of slides, I'm not sure how far, but somewhere down the line here, it asks you to kind of geocode the address and show where it is anyway. So it's not going to show the actual address, but it gives like a bubble, like a blue circle for the radius where it's located. So that to me is good enough. And if you want to put a town or where it's close to, you can do that. Is it okay for others to contact you? If you put your phone number, you want to put that in there as yes. And then the Craigslist copyright thing is just kind of helping to make sure that you are a real human. So that is the post. That's how easy it is to make a post. If you've been following along here, it looks like it was a whole bunch of slides, but each one of these things from when you start, when you hit create posting, 1 click, 2 click, 3 click, and then maybe 5 minutes of data entry if you type slow, maybe 90 seconds if you type fast. And once you get used to where everything is, you can just do it. Once you get good at this and you build the system, you can put some of the same things in every time. And you can just use like notes on your computer or on your phone to do that, and then just copy and paste it in and make it a little bit easier. All these things are pretty much just clicks, right? So we're looking at what, 7 or 8 clicks total, maybe 5 minutes of data entry to make a post to be able to start generating leads. When we hit continue here, it takes us to this screen, and it just wants to confirm that what you put in, is it in there? So this example that I did, I put in Wellington 33414, it found that. And it asks me, is that right? I can zoom out, I can move this thing around a little bit, but you just want to make sure the property that you're doing is in that bubble. That's it. Other than that, you don't need to put the actual address or anything. So it's nice and easy. The location, again, this page here takes 2 seconds. This is the whole page. You just do this and then move on. Then is your image page. So it says this posting has 0 images. You're allowed to put 24. Upload the best image first. There's a couple of different theories behind what works best with images. I'm going to talk about those in my tips, so it's up to you. But it does allow you up to 24. So some people will put 24. Some people put none. You do not have to put images. And some people put a couple. And I'll share with you some strategies on that in there. And then this is what you get. You get something that says this is your unpublished draft. So it will look like this, and it will just kind of ask you to verify that everything is right. So is it a $2,000 2-bedroom 1,000 square foot rental? Obviously I spelled rental wrong because I'm super smart. Where is it located? Obviously this isn't Jupiter. It was just a test so you guys could see. When is it available? So I just picked the day of the class. That was the next Monday that was available. Dogs are okay. Woof. It's an apartment. There's a washer and dryer in the unit, and it has a garage. As much as you want to put in here, or as least little as you want to put in here, is okay. If you then click publish image, takes a couple minutes, and you get an email, and it says, congratulations, your Craigslist posting has been uploaded. And then this is where you find it. So if you're back on Craigslist, this is how the consumer or the customer finds it, just so you can kind of see. They'll click on housing, or they'll go to housing, and they'll start looking for stuff. And they'll say, okay, I'm looking for whatever, something for rent. And then they'll get a list. This is kind of the default view, but they get 3 different views. So this is the default view for where they're looking. And they can filter by everything on the left. So all the different things that we did. Maybe they only want ones that have image. So that could be a reason to put images. Maybe they only want ones that have been posted today. Now, this is one of the most popular search things in Craigslist. And this is why consistency is the key to this one. Bundle duplicates, meaning if someone posts the exact same thing or you refresh the post, I don't want to see duplicates. So this is why you want to post a different ad, a different verbiage. You don't want to just copy and paste these things all the time. How many miles do they want to be from wherever they're looking? What's the price they're looking? Bedrooms and bathrooms, square footage. Do they care about that? Availability. That's why that's important to fill in. And then all the rest of the stuff, if they have dogs, right? Obviously they're going to say, I need dogs to be okay, or cats or whatever. So they're going to put that in there. And there's even a no broker fee and no application fee. So when we talked about that earlier, that's why it's important to be right. Some people just don't have the money for the application, or they don't want to pay an agent, on the side. So make sure you pay attention when you're uploading these things. So this is kind of the default view that everybody sees. Then on the top, if you see where it says thumb, they have the ability to change it. So this is a thumbnail picture with just the title. They could switch it to the gallery view, which is only pictures. And then they could switch it to the map view, which they can search by location. So all 3 of these are how things are going to be seen. If you look at these numbers, this is why you have to be posting on Craigslist a lot if you're going to do this. If you look at the top, it says in Palm Beach County right now, 8,986 postings. If you zoom out, it's going to show more than just Palm Beach, obviously. But that number is big, right? And if you think about it, Craigslist posts only stay up for 45 days, and within a day or 2, they're off the first page. So if you're not doing it consistently and making at least a post a day, I would advise more than that. But if you're not doing at least a post a day, you're 1 in 8,986 chance of being seen. So you might as well just play the lottery. But if you're posting every day, or if you're posting a handful of properties or opportunities every day, you have an opportunity to be found here. So couple things to know. I want to make sure we go over all this. In busy areas like ours, right, there's 3,000 ads plus listed at a time. You saw that one. We were zoomed out further than you normally would be, but that one I think was 8,600. So at any one time, there's a ton of ads on there. But in the grand scheme of things, it's very small to what's on the MLS. If you look on the MLS, there's 50 or 60,000 things listed right now. So it's definitely smaller than the MLS. Within 5 days of posting, your ad pretty much won't be found. The ad does stay alive for 45 days, That's the normal length on an ad. But usually within 5 days, you're not found because so many people are posting on there and using it that you're going to fall down. And once you're off that first page, it's very similar to Google. If you're off that first page, the chances of you being found are pretty small, especially if people are using the search filter. So you need to do a lot of volume, right? If you're someone that answered yes to do I need more cash early, and you're someone that said I don't have budget or a pipeline or leads or database or I just want more, if you're just going to do this once and then not do it again, just save your time. Don't bother doing it. But if you're going to do and make this one of your lead gen strategies, some of you have taken my lead gen strategies classes. If you're going to do this and make this one of your 3, then you need to do volume. It's like anything else. Like, if you just went to work and you worked for like the 7 minutes that it took you to make one Craigslist post, and then you were done for the day, you're going to get fired, right? You're not going to make any money. However, if you're going to do this, and this is going to be your strategy, this is like an all-day thing. You spend your first couple of days of this attacking nonstop, and once you get a system down and start making some money, you could even pay a virtual assistant or your kids or somebody to do it. It's really not brain science, brain surgery here on this. If the property is not active and you get it reported, your account gets insta-banned, meaning if you post up 123 Main Street, which isn't actually available just because it's a good lead trap, and someone inquires to you and you say, oh, I'm sorry, that's not available, but I could find you something else, you get banned, period. If they report you, you're done. They don't want stuff on here that's not active. So you'll have a little library of all your listings, and you want to make sure that if those things get sold or go under contract, you take them down so you're not just constantly baiting and switching people. People lose their mind on that stuff. You want to make sure you create a good title and good copy. So we talked about the title being in one of those search features, the only thing that gets seen, and good copy is the paragraph. So if you just write something very boring, 2 bed, 2 bath, West Palm Beach, like tell a story, right? Create something that makes people intrigued to want to talk to you more about it. The least amount of details about the property is actually good because it makes you reach out, but you need to tell a little bit of a story. We need some calls to action in there. So a good call of action could be text me at whatever your phone number is for more pictures. Call me at whatever for your private viewing. Email me at for the application, something like that. But you want it to be very clear what people need to do to take that next step, because the people that want to take the next step, the clearer it is for them to do so, the better it's going to be. Once you do this a little bit, create a system where anything you do more than once needs a system, right? So if it happens twice, it needs a system. If you're going to do this more than once and start building on this, think about the system that works for you. So for me, I'm a multi-monitor guy. And what I do for anything like this, where you're reposting or redoing things, is I use the notes feature on my Mac, and anything that I'm going to type more than once, if I'm going to use the same copy or use the same thing, I put it up in notes, and then I can just copy and paste it. So instead of retyping things out all the time, and that could be something as little as the price, where you just don't want to have to keep typing all the time. You can just shortcut it. Or it could be the whole paragraph, or it could be your signature kind of thing. Call me at this number for more details, text me here for this, email me here for that. If you don't want to keep writing that same thing every time, create a system, and you can get this down pretty fast. Someone that's fast with this, you could very easily do this in like a minute or 2 once you get good at it. Realtors can renew ads for up to 30 days. So after there's a refresh or renewal period, and then after that, it kind of lets the ad die, and then you need a new ad. So and there's 120 ads per search page. So the search breakdown is 120 at a time. And like I said, you really need to be on that first page to have any kind of a chance. So if you're going to do this, go in there and check every day or 2. And if you don't have anything on that first page, it's time for another one, right? So some tips. So I want to talk about these, and then we'll wrap up and let you guys get back to your day. First tip is have 2 emails. Have one email that's your normal email that you use for life or business or however you run your world. Have another one that's just for leads or just for Craigslist if you're going to do this a lot. 2 reasons. 1, you can switch back and forth. So if an account ever gets banned, something gets taken down, or you want to just post from 2 different accounts to get more action, you can do that. Number 2 is that it won't clog up the email that you have with Craigslist replies, because there will be some ads where you'll get 20 replies. And if that's annoying to you, and you don't want to look at that, that could help. Next piece of advice, only 1 identical post per day. They flag and ban identical posts. And this is why they stopped HTML and all the Craigslist bots and the systems before, because people would post 10 times in the same day, $1,500 downtown West Palm Beach studio rental. the exact same ad, and then there will be all these doubles and all these bundles, they call them, in the feed, and people will get pissed off because you're wasting your time clicking the exact same thing. So only one identical post per day. That does not mean that you can't use the same property. You can use the same property, but not copy and paste the title, copy and paste the price, copy and paste the copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. You want it to be one ad that is the same per day. The more changes you can make or differences that you can make, the better, less chance you'll get flagged or identified. Price. This is a slightly controversial thing here, but no price is an option that some people do. They'll put in the title, no price. They'll put 2-bed, 2-bath, West Palm Beach rental, $1 to get people to click in and try to call them. Up to you if you want to do that. You'll get more calls and more leads that way, but you'll get more people not qualified. So it's up to you. I personally like leads like that because then you have the chance, or you have an at bat to be able to go after more people, and get more leads. So I think that's, to me, that's a plus. My strategy is the least amount of pictures possible. And the reason is that is not what people want, right? They want to see as many pictures as possible. They want to see all 400 pictures, and that's great. However, every time they see a picture, that's one more chance that they can rule things out. So if they see a picture and the kitchen has, I don't know, oak colored cabinets, but they want white cabinets, that's a reason for them to rule it out. However, if they don't see that, you have the opportunity to get somebody in front of them, maybe get them to the property, maybe get them qualified, find out what they can afford, what they can buy, what they can rent, all that stuff. If not, the more pictures they see, the more they're going to disqualify. So if you're going to do pictures, this sounds crazy and opposite of what we teach on the MLS. I understand that. On the MLS, we want pictures. But for something like this, to generate leads, ideally, we don't want the master bed, the master bath, or the kitchen, because those are the things that people care about. We want to post the exterior. Maybe if it's in a community, maybe you want to post the community sign, or if there's amenities like a nice pool or, I don't know, a playground or tennis courts or basketball courts, maybe we want to put that. Maybe it's 2 miles away from downtown Lake Worth, so we're going to post the Lake Worth Pier, or close to West Palms, or the big tree thing at Rosemary, whatever it is. Exterior pictures like that are great. What is it close to? Is it close to parks? Is it close to places that people commonly work? Is it close to a restaurant row or a shopping center where people might commute or walk to work or ride a bike to work? Is it close to the beach? What's it close to? Those are some of the things you want in the pictures. And then a kind of a little tip for the end, or for your little signature, is, for a full video tour, all 47 images or info or whatever it is, text me or email me at. That's where you're going to capture them, where you want them to say to you, I'm looking for the images on the West Palm Beach rental. Can you send them to me? And then that gives you the opportunity for a conversation. If you log on here and you put all of your 24 pictures that you can put to the max and absolutely every detail on there, people are going to find a way to disqualify for that. And then you're going to have less and less leads. So less information equals more leads, more information equals less leads. It's whatever you want is good, but that's kind of the overall strategy. It's the same with any kind of ads you run. The more information you give, the less leads you're going to get. They often will be more qualified, but you're going to get way less number of leads. So in summary, Craigslist is still something that you can use. It's still something that works. And if you have no budget, no money, no leads, no database, no nothing, and you want to start generating some business, create yourself a Craigslist system, get on there and get to work, and you can start generating some leads. So if you want the replay, let me know. If Gab, Bryce, Tracy Cinder, Melissa Kidwell, Dave Ward, or anybody, if you guys are on the call, or if you need anything from us, reach out, and they can also all get you the replay as well. We'll have it up for tonight. Everybody that has been supporting us at Trident Performance and Synergy, we appreciate it. If you have not yet, let us know what we can do to earn that business. The only way we get to keep doing these things is if we keep getting business from the people that are on the call. So as soon as that stops, so the call. So if you have deals going and there's something that we can help you with, please let me know. Thank you, as always, Care, for doing the slides. Everything always looks awesome. I think these are some of my favorite slides with the money clips, and I don't know, the green looked cool. So thank you. A couple things coming up this Thursday at 4, we have Better Call Paul. We're talking about 1031 exchanges. So if you have no idea what a 1031 exchange is, you definitely better be on that. And if you're someone that's done them before, wants to learn more, it's a pretty interesting one, because Paul has a handful of really interesting, like disgustingly high net worth 1031 exchanges going on right now. And he's going to give us 2 pretty cool case studies. So I'm looking forward to this one actually as well. If you don't know what a 1031 exchange is, it essentially is when people sell a property that they have And instead of paying taxes on that, they defer the tax by buying other properties. So it's like a long-term investment strategy. It's a way to dodge taxes. It's ridiculously interesting. And Paul does some really cool ones all the time. So he has a couple multi-million-dollar ones now that are really neat that we're playing around with him. So if you want to learn more about that or hear more about that, check it out. Monday at 11, 1 week from today. Simplify every part of your business right now. We have a new app with a huge update that's just been done, and we are going to go over all of that stuff, how to use it, what to do, all the new features. This covers buyer and seller closing costs. It covers marketing pieces. It covers videos. It covers pictures and lenses. It covers lead generation calculators. It covers infographics. There's so many new features. We've been teaching the staff and teaching the different people in our world this, and we're going to roll it out to you guys 1 week from today. So if you want to be a part of that, it is free to be on the call again, and that email link will start going out. So if you guys need anything, let me know. And we will see you next week. If you do have any questions, like I said, I don't mind staying on. I don't have anything after this. If not, I will see you guys soon. Enjoy Martin Luther King Day. And if you get a break today, enjoy it. See you guys.